Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Joseph Kopyar. I am super excited to be with you here. Thank you so much for your time. I know that your time is very valuable. My time is important too. And I'm super excited to have an opportunity to connect with you virtually. And this is some very important information to go over about how it is that I help people. And I'd like to really invite you to take some time in a quiet space, really put yourself in a position to be able to absorb some of this information. If it resonates with you and you feel like we would be a good fit to work together, it would be my humble honor to work with you. If after viewing this video you don't feel that we would be a good fit to work together, that's okay too. There's a lot of different coaches out there. There's a lot of different counselors and therapists and helpers. What's most important is that you find somebody whose message and energy and just kind of way of being really resonates with you. And so the hope is, after viewing this presentation and hearing a little bit about my story and about how I help people, if you feel like it would be a good fit, we can hop on a call and kind of talk about next steps. So super excited. Let's dive in. From mind stuck to a mind-blowing life. That's what it is I do to help people. Okay, introduction. What problems do I help people solve? Listen, I'm a specialist in mental programming. I believe that we all are operating from a set of mental programs. From the age of 0 to 7 is when those programs were most integrally put into our mind. But the mind is neuroplastic, meaning we can rewire it with new programs. A lot of times people aren't aware that they're operating from these programs going all the way back to their childhood. Those programs developed as a way to protect the person at the time, but now they're no longer serving because they're not in a position that they were before, and likely they're in a much safer situation, and or they're just much more equipped to be able to handle the problems. But this mental program is stuck in really protection mode from those early childhood experiences. How do I help? Customized solutions. There's almost 8 billion people in this world, and everybody is unique. Everybody is different. Everybody's had their own set of unique experiences. So when I work with an individual, I really dive in to get to know who they are, what is their history, and so that this way we can customize solutions for them. There is a general process that I use, which goes, of course, from person to person, that transcends everybody. But generally speaking, it needs to be customized in order to directly identify, confront, and rewire whatever those non-serving programs are that are causing you to feel stuck, causing you to feel anxious, causing you to feel unhappy, even though from the outside it looks like everything is going great in your life. I am very specific about the individuals that I help as it relates to my coaching. And so you're going to find that, if you are a business professional, you're doing pretty well in your life, you feel like you've had some success and maybe now you feel stuck. Maybe you're a healthcare professional, really doing well. You've helped a lot of people, but you're struggling with some burnout, struggling to, maybe not be present, maybe not enjoy your job or your profession quite as much. That's another specific niche of people that I help. And the other thing is business owners, right? People that are entrepreneurs, people that are driven, people that are motivated, and who are really, really, really working hard, but feel stuck. They've gotten to a point where they feel like, Ryan, I don't know what else it is that I can do to grow. I just feel stuck. I feel like no matter what it is I'm doing, I can't find happiness and I can't continue to move my business forward. Talking about, of course, everybody wants to know, Ryan, how long is this going to take? Listen, I am about rapid change, quantum change. Change can happen in a moment. Not always, but change can happen in a moment. And I think that when you have a coach that's going to compassionately challenge you and is going to ask you the right questions, the questions specific to you, ooh, boy, change can happen super fast. So, I'm all about how quickly it is that I can help people to create that change, right? And about equipping you with the tools and the skills that you need so that we don't have to work together forever. I love you. I love people. I love helping people. But I want to equip you with the tools so you can go out and help yourself and teach it to other people. So not only is it fast in the way that I work with people, it's also going to be equipping you with the tools and the skills and the mindset shifts that you need so that you and I don't need to work together forever. So we're looking at a very concise, very profound, very rapid change in a short 8-week program. What makes Ryan unique? Well, hey, we're all unique and we're all special in our own unique way. But I'm going to get into, in this time together here in this presentation, I'm going to get in with you and share with you super vulnerably a little bit about my life and about some of those down and out moments. We've all had those down and out moments in our life. I think that's part of what being human is having those moments of both happiness and joy and bliss, and also some of those moments where we're feeling really down. I'm going to be vulnerable with you, and I'm going to share with you about some of my lowest of low moments, and then what it was that I did to help shift my way out of them, as well as some of the people that came in my life that helped me to shift out of them. Let's go over some real quick, some different testimonials. These are generalized because I really respect the privacy of the individuals that I work with. But Johanna was crippled with anxiety. She was really stuck in some unhealthy relationship with her partner, emotionally being abused, financially she was really struggling. And after a couple of sessions where we were able to find out what was holding Johanna back from really finding her voice and stepping into claiming what it was that she was worth, not only professionally, but also personally in her romantic relationship. You know, Joanna, so proud of her, left the relationship, got her own place, got a brand new luxury car, super, super proud. And again, this was all rapid change in very short periods of time. Let's talk about Tom. You know, Tom was doing really well from the outside. Okay, financially he was doing well. Inside, not doing so hot. Really some self-destructive and some self-sabotaging type of behaviors, kind of falling out of his fitness routine, not really feeling optimal about himself or about his body. Going through work, you know, making 6 figures, but not really feeling overwhelmed. Definitely not following up on some of his goals that he had outside of his business. And after a couple of brief times of working together, it was just like, wow, we were able to really, really, really make some great progress together. And he was back to doing mountain biking and really reestablishing healthy relationships in his life. And this last one here, Adam was, I work also as a counselor separate from the coaching work that I do. And so Adam was a peer of mine who has his own psychotherapy practice. Again, doing great specifically with his practice, but was really feeling overwhelmed with his anxiety and not being able to recruit the people into his business that he needed in order to expand his practice. And so after just a couple of sessions of working together, we were able to find out, hey, how do we handle the anxiety? How do we get clear on what it is that Adam needs to do in order to move forward? Once we got those 2 things in place, boom, he's onboarding 2 new therapists, practice is growing, and he's more present. And that's the big thing. You know, a lot of people, one of the big objections that I get is, well, Ryan, I don't know where I'm going to have the time to do this, coach. Well, how much time are we losing from our wife, from our kids, from our spouse, right? From our friends? How much time are we losing because of the anxiety? And so how I help people is really to give them back your time. It's like, hey, give me 8 hours over 8 weeks, and let me show you how much time I can give you back once this non-serving program has been released. What problems do I help people solve? Like I said, I'm a specialist in mental programming. So we're going to identify those non-serving programs, those programs that at one point in time in your life helped you, but now are no longer serving you. It's causing you to feel burned out. It's causing you to feel stuck. Okay? Working together, we're going to help you to decrease that anxiety, decrease that fear, and decrease those limiting beliefs. Now, there's a general theme of those limiting beliefs, but the exact flavor is different from person to person. So again, we're going to customize this to you. What are your limiting beliefs and where did they come from? We've got to acknowledge them. You got to acknowledge them in order to release them. So as I say, we're changing. If you want to change the fruit, you've got to change the root. If I just keep plucking apples off the apple tree and I'm getting frustrated that oranges aren't regrowing, well, I'm just stuck on a loop, right? So I've got to change the root if I want to change the fruit. And so we're really talking about customizing specific to you. What are those limiting beliefs? Where do they come from? How do we release them? That's how we change the root. And I'm I go deep and fast in my change process, right? Which is really getting to what is the crux of these limiting beliefs. We're not just staying on the surface, we're going deep. Okay, as I said before, customized solutions. We're going to go over a strategic and targeted life history review. I know that may sound like, wow, I'm concise after just getting a little bit of a gauge of understanding a bit about your childhood. I've worked with enough people and I've helped enough people to notice patterns, right? And I listen to people's verbiage. How do they speak about different things? Kind of some neuro-linguistic programming type aspects of the work that I do, right? And then boom, we're going to target in it there and we're going to figure out, okay, what were these life experiences and then how are they impacting you? Again, root causes, a specialized process for permanently releasing the non-serving programs. We've got to thank the non-serving program. We've got to thank it. If we just keep fighting it back, it's just going to ingrain itself in more. And so if you decide to work with me one-on-one, we'll talk very, very specifically about my unique process on how we thank. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you work with me one-on-one, we're gonna work it out together on how you thank those programs and ultimately release them. And so then what do we get? We get more happiness, ladies and gentlemen. We get more fulfillment. We get more inner peace. We get more joy. We get to be present with our family and friends and our spouses and our loved ones. We get to be on the beach with a daiquiri in our hands or a non-alcoholic pina colada, whatever it is that you like. And we get to really be present instead of that mind just spinning on overdrive. Again, who I help, specific business professionals, health and wellness industry where I worked for over a decade and still work to some degree as a counselor, is struggling with anxiety, fear, limiting beliefs, feeling burned out and stuck. So if you feel like that describes you, we may be a good fit to work together. If not, it doesn't mean that I can't help you. It just means it's a little bit outside of the niche of who it is that I really work with. Again, if watching this, you feel like even though I may not be specific in your niche, you feel like there's a lot of things that resonate with you and you feel like we would be a good fit. Well, let's hop on a call together and we'll parse it out together and see how or if we can work together and if I can help you. How long does it take? Quantum change. Dr. William R. Miller wrote a book called Quantum Change. Change can happen instantly. It doesn't always happen like that. But I've sat down with people and in one session help them to create a massive amount of change in their life. My counselor, and I'll speak about this in a little bit, my counselor helped me. I mean, after the first session, was already feeling lighter. I was already releasing a lot of the grief and the anxiety. But after 3 sessions, I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Now that's clinical work, right? But whether it's coaching, whether it's the clinical work that I do, massive change can happen in a short period of time. Okay? We want to try different, not try harder. So I'm not going to tell you to do more time. I'm actually very likely, if you are engaged in the change process, I'm probably actually going to ask you to do less time. Because we want to try different, not try harder. If trying harder worked, you probably wouldn't feel stuck right now. Probably saying, Ryan, I feel like I've been trying real hard and it's not working. So we want to try different, not try harder. Again, change the root, not the fruit. Process over outcome. Process is huge. I want to teach you the skills. I want to teach you my methods and how I help people to change so that you can go out there in your life and not only apply this to your own life and other things that may arise, but also to be able to help other people. Very simple and clear process for change. Now, I want to make sure to clarify, change isn't simple or easy. It takes work, but the process, we're going to make that very clear, very concise, and very simple. And the last part is, in the words of Jay-Z, I'm on to the next one. I love people. I love helping people. And I want to help you as quickly as I can help you, so that then I can get on to helping the next person. And it's not because I don't care about you. I care about you so much. This is my life's passion. This is my life's purpose and mission, is to help people. And so to do that, the faster I can help people and the more that I can equip them with the tools that they need to change, then the more I can go out there and go on to help the next person. Because not only have I helped you, I've also given you the tools so that you can continue to help yourself, so that you don't have to come back to me to say, oh, I remember something like this similar happened. Ryan told me to do this process. I implement it. Boom. Okay, let's dive into a little bit about what makes me unique as a helper. I'm going to be super vulnerable with you. I published a book in 2019 called Unlock the Power of Your Mind. If you decide to work with me, I'm going to send you a free copy of that book. And in that book, I really was vulnerable and shared my story. And I'm going to go over a little bit of it here with you today, because you know what I think? I think that real recognizes real. Real recognizes real. And I want to be real with people. And I think that by sharing my journey with people, it helps people realize I'm a human being just like you. And I've had my struggles, and I still have them. And anybody that doesn't is lying to you. And I'll know that I will continue to have them. But I'm in a much different place, because now I have the tools and the skills that I need in order to face them, so they don't feel so overwhelming. Because problems are going to continue to happen. The question is, am I equipped with the tools, skills, and abilities I need to overcome them or not? So I always wanted to take the journey with somebody that's already walked it. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about my journey, about what I've walked, about what I've overcome. And if you feel like, hey, there's a little bit about Ryan's story that resonates with me, or maybe there's an overlap, or maybe there's a parallel. Wow, if Ryan did it, I can do it. Because I'm not sharing this story to impress you. I'm sharing it because I want to inspire you. I want to let you know I put my pant legs on one leg at a time. And so if I can do it, I believe that you can do it. I know that you can do it. You're special and I'm special. So you have just as much of an ability to learn the tools, the skills, and the process that you need to overcome your fear, to overcome your anxiety, to get unstuck, to go from breaking point to breakthrough. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm going to pour that positivity and that belief and that education and understanding into you. Life change is priceless. I don't do this job for the money. I do it because there is no more fulfilling feeling to me than when somebody comes to me and says, Ryan, thank you so much. You helped to change my life. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no better, no amount of money makes me feel as good as hearing somebody say that. So I want to start off telling you a story about a family. I'll tell you a story about a family and about how drugs and violence and crime impacted that family. It was just a few days after Christmas and a few days before New Year's. There was a woman who was out working late one night. She was working at a law office, wrapping up, stayed late, trying to button some things up. And the woman was 8 months pregnant at the time. So she's there, she's at the law office, she's getting ready to close up shop for the night. All of a sudden, burglar comes in. The woman is startled. Oh my God, what's going on? Kind of trying to close up the office. The burglar, not knowing that the woman was going to be there, hits her upside the head, chokes and strangles her with the scarf that she was wearing. This woman is 8 months pregnant. Rapes her and kills her. That night, ladies and gentlemen, a woman lost her life. A husband lost his wife. A young boy lost his mother. And a baby, which never even had the opportunity to come into this world, was robbed of her life. This is the individual, Mr. Timothy Vale. He was sentenced to 49 years to life and prison for the rape, murder, and burglary related to this woman and her 8-month pregnant child. Now, I know this family very well because that boy whose mother never came home, that's the man that's speaking to you right now. That's me. That's that little boy. And I share this story with you because I want you to know that I understand pain. I understand crime. I understand violence. And I also want to let you know that I was stuck for a very long time. And I didn't even realize that I was stuck. You see, I was self-medicating with drugs, ecstasy, partying, abusing drugs and anabolic steroids. I mean, whole life, I had never started the grieving process of the death of my mother and unborn sister, Megan. And I was stuck, and I was self-medicating, and I didn't even realize that I was self-medicating. And so on August 14th, 2013, as I'm walking out of the post office after I just picked up a big package of steroids, the DEA and NYPD came out, guns drawn, and arrested me. Multiple felony counts that I was arrested for. I ultimately pled to a misdemeanor for possession of narcotics, anabolic steroids. That was one of the lowest of low moments of my life. I lost my job. I lost the career and all of the process that I had worked so hard to build in the fitness industry. My reputation was destroyed. I was an anxious and depressed mess. I was so embarrassed I didn't even come out of my house. Felt like I lost everything. And that night that I spent in jail that I was arrested, there was a part of me that night that died. And I remember sitting in that jail cell and I remember saying to myself, Ryan, would your mother be proud of the man that you are right now? And are you really doing what it is that you can be doing? You're in jail right now, man. Is this where you belong? Well, it was where I belong based on some of the choices that I had been making, but was it in line with my potential? Was it in line with my life's mission? No. Definitely not. And so that moment in the jail cell, that was a moment of that when I asked myself that question, would my mom be proud of the man sitting in this jail cell? Boom. That was a moment of quantum change. I said, when I get out of here, I need to be different. And I don't know what that moment is for you. I don't know what that rock bottom is. But I can promise you, if I was able to make a mindset shift to bring myself out of rock bottom, I am 100% confident that I can help you to make your shift from your rock bottom into changing your life. Now, that was back in 2013. Let's fast forward to 2018. I call it the triple whammy. That most people, said, okay, Ryan, that's your rock bottom, man. How much more rock bottom can it get? Well, let's dive into it. In May of 2018, I had a wedding that didn't work out. I found out the day of the rehearsal dinner that my fiance had been cheating on me. I lost a job a couple months later. And then in September of 2018, I was in a very serious car accident, was all banged up. I diagnosed with PTSD afterwards. My shoulder was all torn up, a bunch of herniated discs in my back. I mean, talk about a 1, 2, 3 punch. It was just like boom, boom, boom. Literally and metaphorically, boom, boom, boom. Now, again, I'm not sharing this story because I want you to say, oh, woe was me and Ryan had such a tough life. No, I'm sharing that story because I want to let you know that I know what it's like to be down and out. I don't know what it's like for you because I'm not you. But I know what it's like to be down and out. And I know what it's like to feel like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of this? I did it. And now it's my life's mission and purpose to help other people do it. And by the way, I did it with the help of some really, really great people in my life. I had to do the work, just like I tell people, you've got to do the work. But I did it with some help. And you can do it. And if you feel like you could use some help in the process and you feel like I can help you, that's what I'm here for. So, took a little bit of time. I was ultimately able to create another massive amount of change in my life. So, as I was recovering from the car accident, I got some help from a counselor, really helped me to put a lot in perspective as it relates to my PTSD, get back on the healing track. I had somebody that poured belief into me, said, Ryan, I know you're meant to help people on a much bigger scale than how you're helping people now. And I said, when I heal through this, and by the way, I don't think that healing is a finite point or period. I think it's an ongoing process. But I said, when I heal myself through kind of where I'm at right now, I want to spend the rest of my life helping other people to heal. So I went to Liberty University. I got my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I got married to an amazing woman. I got married. I never thought that I was going to get married. After everything that had happened in the past, I didn't think that was possible with my old mindset. But now as I start to do healing, now as I start to do now when I start to turn pain into purpose, when I start to give a new meaning to these events in my life from the past, a new meaning, a meaning that served me, that's when life really started to get good for me. So I share that again to inspire you, not to impress you, not to impress you. I'm proud of me. I'm so proud of me. I share my story because if I just hold on to my story myself, it doesn't help anybody. But when I share my story, I hope that it provides a beautiful meeting ground. I think that vulnerability creates and facilitates connection. And hopefully by sharing my story, you say, okay, this guy not only talks the talk, but he walks the walk. So, what holds people back? Maybe you're feeling, okay, Ryan, you got me going a little bit here. Okay, I'm feeling it. I see you know what you're talking about, but oh boy, I just don't know. Well, here's some of the biggest things that when people come to me, it holds them back. Cost. Okay, let's talk about cost versus investment. If you look at anything to do with your healing process, right, or anything to do with helping you to create that mindset shift, as a cost, you're never going to be able to justify. It's never going to make sense, right? It's an investment. It's an investment in you. If you have a car, what's your car payment? $400 a month. What happens to that car at the end of 7 years, 8 years, 9 years? Let's say you have it for 10 years. What happens to the car? Trade it in, goes to a junkyard, whatever. So you spent all that money in the car, and then at one point in time, it's gone. Well, what about you? What about that investment that you make in you? Are you ever going to trade you in? No. We're all going to die one day, obviously, right? But that investment that you make in you, that exponentially pays dividends the rest of your life. The other thing is, hey, what is not dealing with my pain and anxiety and being stuck? What's that costing me? And I don't only mean money. Where can I be? Or what amount of money can I make? What kind of impact can I make when these emotional taxes that I'm paying every single day are released? Time. Say, Ryan, I'm super busy. I just don't know where I'm going to find the time for this. Well, here's what I would say. How much time are you losing to anxiety? How much time are you losing when you go and you're scrolling on social media because you're just looking to escape your problems? How much time are you know how much time I lost self-medicating with drugs and alcohol? So much time partying. Now, only you know deep down inside your heart and in your soul how much time you're losing as it relates to just not feeling good and how much time you're losing with escapism. And I've been there. So I say this compassionately, but to challenge you. So 8 weeks with me is all it takes to create a massive amount of change in your life. How many weeks have you been feeling unhappy? How many weeks have you been feeling stuck? Well, at the end of our 8 weeks, maybe even after the end of a week or two, that starts to shift for you. Only you know the real answers to these questions. But I want to compassionately challenge you to really think about them. Think about it. You know, nothing changes if nothing changes. So we can think about it all we want, but thinking about it isn't going to create change in our life. We got to make a commitment and we've got to take action. Also, if I'm going to be thinking about something and I'm thinking, wait a second, these non-serving programs, these are what got me to the point that I'm at now. Okay, well, do I want to be thinking about my problems and thinking about life through this old non-serving mental programs? Or is it time to work with somebody to help me to rewire these programs, turn it into something serving? So now when I'm thinking about things, I'm thinking about things with good, positive thoughts and energy and program versus the non-serving limiting beliefs. And the biggest thing is, what is the fear programming holding you back from making the leap? We all have it. We all have it. So don't let somebody lie to you and say that they don't have it. The difference is when we can identify the fear programming, we can say, oh, okay, I understand what that little thing is that I feel. I understand that little bit of uncomfortable feeling. I get it. Oh, okay, yeah, I know you're a liar. I know you're trying to hold me back. But again, we can't get you to the point of identifying that fear unless you have somebody to help you get objective instead of saying subjective inside yourself to say, okay, this is the fear program that's holding me back. Okay, so let's bring the plane in for a landing here. Summary. Again, I'm the specialist in mental programming. Non-serving program. We've got to release it. Then we want to rewire in with the positive programming that's going to serve us. And then last, be ready. Be ready, because life is about to get so good for you. You would never believe how good life is going to get. And you've got to be ready to receive that new life, because otherwise you're going to get it and you're going to lose it, right? So we got to release, rewire, be ready. How I help. Customized solutions. Customized to you. This is not cookie cutter. This is not generic. This is not just an online course, right? No, we've got to get, that's why I need the one-on-one time, because we've got to get in with you to figure out what were your life experiences? How did they impact your mental programming? Who I help? Again, entrepreneurs, health and wellness professionals, business professionals really feeling stuck. People that are at a breaking point, looking for the breakthrough. People feel that they're stuck and frustrated because they've tried other things and it's just not working for them. How long does it take? Change can happen like that. And again, what makes me unique? I hope that by the end of our time together here, you've identified, hey, besides being a bold, high energy guy, Ryan's got a different energy about him, man. He's real. He's not BSing. He's a human being. He's vulnerable. I'm a human being just like you. And I really don't like it when people come on and try and pretend like, oh my gosh, they got everything figured out and everything in their life is perfect. No, man, they're lying. Life is not perfect. But when we have the tools and the skills and the abilities to identify, right? Okay, here's my problem. Here's my solution. Boom. Now see, that's when the anxiety goes down. That's when the non-serving program doesn't come back out. Just fades away, fades away, fades away, right? Because it tries to come up and we're like, nope, thank you. You're no longer needed. Goodbye. So I really, really appreciate your time. I'm super grateful. If you stayed through this video all the way to the end and you're fired up inside, that probably means that we'd be a really good fit to work together. So I would really encourage you to either book the call if you haven't already, or if you've got the call and we're scheduled to meet. Again, this is a life-changing opportunity for you. Please take it serious, show up on time, be in a quiet place, be locked and loaded mentally and ready to go. Because we're going to go from mind stuck to mind-blowing life. And that's possible for you. And if you only have a little bit of a belief that that's possible, let me lend you my belief that it's possible. Because I not only believe it, I know it. Because I know if I did it, I know you can do it. And that's not just some cliche, whatever. You saw from my story, I was at the lowest of low. Again, I'm not comparing lows, because that doesn't help us, right? But I was at the lowest of low multiple times, and I was able to figure out my way out. And through that, I learned the change process. And now I want to share it with you. I want to share it with you so that you can change your life and you can go out there and you can be a better spouse, a better husband, a better wife, a better parent, a better brother, better sister, better coach, better boss, better nurse, better police officer, better fireman, whatever the case may be, so that you can be a better version of you. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. Ryan Joseph Kopyar. Thank you so much.